Welcome to the bold analysis. What is William Ruto's game plan with the tax evaders? I have seen his attempt to increase the tax base, and we've always spoken about increasing the tax base. I believe this is one of the questions that is not well defined or is not well explained. At the campaign trail, the president mentioned that he had two interventions to increase taxes. Number one was automate tax collection. That's from the taxman, maybe KRA. And number two was the bottom-up economic model, where it would provide access to financing, boost access to financing by the man at the lower part of the pyramid, so that many people will get to entrepreneurship, and that would increase tax base. But even that, we saw a hustler fund that had a lower limit, around 500,000, not 500,000, 500 shillings. A ridiculous amount that even people who wanted to venture in entrepreneurship went back and gave a response that, look here, 500 is not one that can help us to start business. And I'm just want to get the trail of this, because when the framers of Hustler Fund are saying that it should spur entrepreneurship at the lower part of the pyramid, so it should part to mean, number one, support those who are going on, and number two, to allow many people to do business. So when many people are doing business, they will be paying taxes, probably through licensing or taxes through purchasing power, because when people are doing business and they're getting profits or they're getting income, that's more they spend, and through that spending, the high purchasing power, consumption is high, and that's how government will collect taxes, because government already taxes different products, not different all products. So one thing I'm saying is this: on the front of using Hustler Fund, it has failed on spurring economic growth in terms of many people who can take it and do businesses, because themselves they have said that shilingi 500 haitoshi kuanzisha biashara. Okay, so that was the one way, spur economic growth, then people collect taxes. The other one was to automate. Automation is not new, and I understand that now we have a hybrid system. In Nairobi, where I stay, my friend Ucheng, who sells mandazi, bado sometime, I think last week, first week of December, there is a guy from Kanjo who came. Na akampatia, I think was demanded some 50 bob. They collected twice a week. I think we need to tell Sakaja that. They collected twice a week. They're actually supposed to collect it twice a week, and it's supposed to be, I think, 50 shillings. But they tend to come once so that they collect it once. Na anapewa cash. Sakaja should also know that county askaris are moving the streets and picking the money cash. They want money to be paid cash for those who are doing businesses. Oh, hauna hii, hauna ile, hauna ile. So things are actually going on. We still have a hybrid system where other people collect it, automation, maybe those who go for the licenses in the city hall and that, and you know where that's also corruption thrives. But there are also those who are collecting it physically, which I know that one doesn't go to the county. So let's face it right. On tax collection, the issue of expanding tax base, if you want to get it, avoid bottom up, actually start up bottom. What am I saying? There are a host of few people basking, tax evaders basking in paradise. Just recently, a host of some people that got appointments in government were people whose businesses were under strict investigation. And actually some of them were affected during Uhuru Kenyatta's reign, because by that time, Uhuru Kenyatta really meted the criminal justice system on them because there was a crackdown on them because of taxes. But when William Ruto came in, some of those people were injected in government, and their businesses, of course, they've got back their life, no problem to sow, but they've successfully hoodwinked President Ruto to believe, and President Ruto have really gotten into that trap that we all know, and even Ruto knows very well, that there could be tax evasion charges against them, which are valid. Maybe they have not paid taxes. But President Ruto have allowed that narrative to sink, that, okay, it was criminal justice system bent on us. Now, I don't know whether these fellas, even in the last general election, the businesses that were going through this. Now, these people are now in government, are now basking in paradise. And no one is asking those questions, simply because there was a narrative that, look here, tunatafutwa sababu ya siasa, tunatafutwa sababu tuko na wewe. And anyone who would want protection and would want political protection will easily run away from President Uhuru Kenyatta and go to William Ruto, because, of course, we can't also wish away the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta could also have used that, or could also have abused those tax evasion cases for them, or that to go after these individuals. But on this, I just want to remind President Ruto that there is a corruption cartel just on matters of tax evasion. I want to use a very good example. I was speaking to a gentleman who had worked in the KPA, and he was telling me that watu wanataka their goods zikuwe cleared around KPA in Mombasa compared to the inland depot in Nairobi or Naivasha. Why? Because in Nairobi and Naivasha, corruption is low. But at the KPA side, people have crafted ways, and they have crafted networks that can help them maneuver the dragnets, the tax dragnets there, so that they evade taxes. And so it's easy, and that's why you realize that a product yenye imetoka huko, there are a lot of counterfeits products within the Mombasa area compared to what is cleared in Nairobi, because Nairobi, there is no congestion. So because watu ni wachache wanakuwa served, and with the level of vigilance, it's not very easy. But in Mombasa, people are still exploiting traditional ways they were using to make sure that they evade the taxes. So on this one, I want to believe that President Ruto should actually start from the up. Start from up bottom. Because the people at the lower part of the pyramid, hapa wanalipa license. Just in my small village, someone doing kinyozi. I realized, I was asking him, so how do you unalipa lini? Akaniambia ikifika September watu wanakujanga, it expires. So wanampeleka mpaka ipei. So if you compare in terms of amount of taxes you can collect from the tax base that has been expanded hapa chini, and the few people that are basking in paradise, those people you should go after them. Because one thing here is where it cuts across the political divide. It's not Kenya Kwanza, it's not Azimio, it's not Raila Odinga, it's not Uhuru Kenyatta, it's not William Ruto, it's all of them. So the amount of money that you can collect, and what William Ruto has is, he has had that presidential leniency. And that presidential leniency should not end at not paying. Of course, there is other resolution measures, tax resolution measures, whether it will take a commission or something, so that you also not seen as trying to create an conducive environment for businesses. Because I know there is a thin line, and understand the problem here is, when you use judicial service system, not judicial service, criminal justice system, to collect this money to these investors or other foreign investors, it can be understood. And because of that reporting and sensationalization of that, like that of even, I think of Tabitha Karanja, other investors who want to invest are seeing government as government that is not receptive and is not welcoming investments from other people. So that becomes of a problem. But it doesn't mean, and I see, if we create a commission a separate commission to deal with these investors or the big businesses, so that KRA isanyisanye ingine, but then the big boys, we get a big body, even get a posh body. If they want their taxes to be collected with the drones and aeroplanes, there should be no problem. If they want it to be collected in classy way, there should be no problem, but it should be collected so that we don't move away and we don't hurt the hustler. The reason why I'm saying this is this: the person that is been paying taxes is the man at the bottom, and the problem here is you run the risk of overtaxing him. When he's overtaxed, what does it mean? It means that he will default on paying his electricity bill. Huku akona shida. He will default on paying his school fees for the kid. He will default and will not be able to pay for unga. So the spending power, the purchasing power of the man at the lower part of the pyramid is not is going to go down. So at the end of the day, that's why I believe that to fix this, William Ruto should lift what I have seen as a political leniency. It's a leniency against these tax barons. People who are not paying taxes, they are doing businesses, and it's in the pretense, and when you try, they've maneuvered their ways. That's why when President said that I need to dismantle cartels, then all these cartels that you want to dismantle start with those who are evading the taxes. Never mind arresting those who are those who you called dynasties, their businesses, going after the businesses. Also go after those who are in Kenya Kwanza. With this, you take a bipartisan approach. You take a non-bipartisan approach, and that you collect money. Pesa utasanya juu, the billions utasanya juu are going to be enough to fund these projects that government wants to fund. You can collect more from the people at the top, because again, wale wako juu ni wachache, but they owe government billions of money, compared to using the police and the small person here to harass the Wanjikus for licenses and this. And you even realize that you will ease in the pressure amount of money. And let me say, I normally see this a very interesting trend. Kenya police is fueling that Land Cruiser to go and collect money in the estates for people who are selling changa, not changa, people who are selling the liquors, and wanaenda uko wanasanya ka 50, 100. So I've always asked, apart from the fact that that money doesn't go to the government because it's given in cash, so watatumia. Do you know the government is spending on fuel? Fuel, amount of money that is being spent on fuel to collect that money is not it. Even the county council, those who are collecting using county askaris vehicles, those who are going to collect, ile pesa fuel serikali inamwaga hapo, you can't compare to what they are returning back. So you will even realize that effectively, but ukitumia gari na kuenda kukaa, ile pesa utatumia kwenda kukaa na CEO wa that company na kukaa tena mwambie bwana, hii tax hujalipa na mimi nataka tufanye hivi ulipe. If he pays for you, you allow that, okay, you owe government 1 billion in tax arrears, then I'm be paying 500, maybe 200,000 or 100,000 per month in this year so that I finish it. It's more effective, and it's going to be good, and you're going to collect more compared to giving askaris fueling government cars all over to go and collect money that may not. Unaenda kolektiwa na gari ya polisi inabwaga na mafuta, na hiyo pesa hata itarudi. Myself, I've always said this. Those who around me know very well that mimi nilifunzwa na changa. Yes. Now I'm in the village. Nothing stops me from saying that. Now you know, when you hear, you remember. So these people used to come here when we were doing the changa, and they would come and will collect money from us. You know, chief, assistant chief, police here and there, collect this money from us, then they go. They will come and do patrol the whole night. So wakisanyasanya matudhao, mafaidhao, 5,000, awapeleki watu kotini. So this money is connected going to their pockets. Well, at that time, government imefuel those cars. So, what are we saying? President Ruto, going after the Wanjiku down here will not solve. It's not going to be highly effective. In fact, government is going at a loss. Go after the people at the top. I don't know that I need some support on that. Asanteni sana.